it's back to that kind of style with everybody having a utility coming out of spawn and all 4 members having a flash or a smoke rolling out with them. This is going to be very telling. These first 30 seconds of rounds 1 and 2 are going to be, without a doubt, the tail of the tape for me. How fast can Pittsburgh Knights continue to rotate around the map?
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting into it. It's going to be a ton of fun. Super curious how this works out. For PK, though, they're already going to pressure 2 over towards A, as they do take their time to go ahead and help out their teammates with the Lancer fire on Xplosive and Powerz, who are now being pinned up. Nowhere they can go. Forced to go in a corner, and Identivez will clean them up. That's 2 down now for UYU, as SuMuNs and TJ will have to fend their own. TJ will win the fight over in Bandstand versus Raver, and will be pressured back as Identivez is just unrelenting. TJ now goes up, very close, both red. But Identivez will take the win, looks him in the eyes, and finishes him off as PK now goes into A and the domination potential.
And this is what I was talking about, the quick rotation out. Pittsburgh Knights now going for this break on the A hill. Identivez is rolling back. He's not as red as you think. He could live maybe 1-2 shots in this position. He's going to push back up the 3 members of UYU that are here. Don't have any kills yet. It's heads up, 4v4. They finally get it down on Identivez, but here comes the answer back. SuMuNs is in the area. Another good rotation out. They're going to get the down there. Xplosive will be able to push across home to home if he so wishes, but Pittsburgh Knights still have the top side of the map if they want to be able to push in the backside of UYU, but UYU is going to come off spawn, and they've got to protect against this home hill retake here. And SuMuNs is the linchpin. They're going to have to use him to try to get information about where ultimate members of Pittsburgh are. Identivez versus Xplosive is about to break out here at the C hill. Unsure what he's going to do. They're rotating a second member in, especially with that kill on SuMuNs that opens things wide up once again. This is what PK has been specialty at all night long, getting an extra man into a fight and forcing the pressure and the mistakes out of their opponents.
Very well said, and Xplosive is going to feel the pressure and heat from that. For Powerz, though, no worries. He'll go ahead and take down Monkyz. The neutral's going to be broken, and again, PK now pushing in. Dezo's going to be here. 1v2. Beautiful shot, and he's also going to make it happen. Now, of course, that came from Raver, who was able to Lancer from the neutral position. If Raver doesn't get that additional damage on TJ and push him within 1 shot with the Nasher, well, I don't know if that 1v2 goes as smoothly. But because of the Lancer fire, it helps. Dezo picks it up, and the neutral is now in place. So Xplosive is going to try and force his luck. But again, that extra man from PK is going to be in this fight. But a bit of a separation, and Xplosive finds an opportunity. Goes in for the finish on 1 and picks up Dezo. SuMuNs is there to help. Raver, though, is going to be on the flank to pick him up. And Xplosive now is going to be able to pressure in to Juice and maybe potentially pick up this kill. But Raver is just going to stay where he's at. And now, UYU doesn't have the win condition, but they're a lot better off than they were before, and they're getting the break on C.
You're going to see Xplosive bounce in, smoke out, gets the decap. TJ's trying to stay in there. They're going for the 2-man quick cap here. TJ needed to get that kill if they wanted to try to get back into this. Now with those 2 kills, UYU is going to be on the back foot, and PK is going to be able to get to the A-hill to get the decap. Powerz, he's going to get 1 kill. He might try to rotate behind the enemy lines, but Monkyz is waiting for him. Nobody's there to stop the decap at the A-hill, and Powerz has been called out, ladies and gentlemen. He is between a rock and a hard place. He gets down inside of the info, but they have to get breaks everywhere, and they're not there in time. Round number 1 to the Pittsburgh Knights.
Fantastic job from them. But you know what? There was a very real opportunity for UYU to win that round. They were in it. They got the decap when they needed it. But PK in the end was able to secure the victory. You see their stats and you see a lot of kills to their name, and that was just them retaking and more importantly just coming off strong off the initial. So good on them to take round number 1, a long fought one, and something we do expect. UYU is going to have to find a way to stop getting isolated by the members of PK.
Powerz is going to hover over. I believe they're just going to go with Voltox as well. They'll answer back the appropriate kind of meta for these first couple of rounds. Excuse me right there, Taylor. But once again, we have to keep eyes on this. One of the things that I'm actually curious about is going forward, especially with the way that it would be 4v4, is how people start defining who's going to be in that back spawn position. Something we really haven't talked about tonight is the people playing positions 4 and 9 actually do have that disadvantage. They roll out of the spawn pretty much last. They have to play the information role. They have to be able to help out their teammates with how to rotate here. Powerz is going to get pushed up onto the 2v1, but TJ is 1 at the top cinema. Now it's a 4v3. TJ is going to go in for the cap, And it looks like Pittsburgh Knights are going to go for the retake here, but the help comes out from over the top. There's the first down. They're going to move in. They might go for the cleanup, and they do. They're going to be able to push that last member of PK out. Meanwhile, at the home hill of the Pittsburgh Knights, SuMuNs is going for this triple cap domination. Shot over the cover, gets the down. Nobody at the home hill of UYU getting that extra cap out. So this will prolong the round in the sense that now SuMuNs has to survive even longer at the home hill of the Pittsburgh Knights. Raver gets 2 free shots on him and the kill. That's got to be a bit of a misplay, maybe even a miscommunication, because now the round will prolong. Pittsburgh Knights will be able to get their respawns out, and they'll be able to fight back against the Tide.
Player number 9, though, Monkyz. Opportunity to just kind of chill out, wait for his teammates to get there. Player 8 will join in, so you're going to have Monkyz and Dezo now trying to force the issue onto B. Utility's out, TJ goes for it, so he's going to go in hard, try and get this kill. Bit of a misroll, though, and we'll get punished. Monkyz gets it. Now that's 2 down for UYU. Powerz going to get Lancered out, plus challenged just up ahead. A very real opportunity that he fears PK, and he does. So now PK now going for the domination, going in for the triple cap Xplosive. Nowhere he can go, he can't even turn around, and just like that, PK will take it. And like you said, those big mistakes from UYU, a lapse in judgment, will cost him around.
Hey, look, right now the Pittsburgh Knights are playing so well. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and they've done it in both rounds 1 and 2. And it is just those little those little mistakes, those little missteps early in the round that lead to a prolonged round, that lead to Pittsburgh Knights being able to come back into it, take a secondary set of fights, and be able to push back against UYU. And now we go to round 3. Talents placed out by both teams more likely than not at both the ATM and the Pergola, covering up that top cinema area. This will make that initial fight at the cinema be a little bit more interesting. See if both teams bring their talent into the initial fight, try to use it to win that initial, and who also picks it up to take it there. Meanwhile, bottom side of the map has been pretty much dominated by the 1B of Powerz, just holding off at least 1 to 2 members of the Pittsburgh Knights coming across the bandstand.
All right. TJ down low, like you said, Identivez with that bolt talk. Utility out as TJ might go to push this, cannot. The Lancer Fire 2 straight away, though, and not drop. So good on him to stay up. That Lancer Fire is still very strong. Look at player 7, though. He's going to be lurking throughout mid. The opportunity to maybe pressure up onto player 4 is going to be there. You do have SuMuNs who might be able to Lancer him out. So there's a lot of moving pieces here. Monkyz will grab that talent, so that's going to be hugely beneficial, especially if he decides to get up close and personal with the squad of UYU. Or excuse me, with the squad of PK. And everything very quiet. Every team looking to make the first move, and this might be it.
Good first shot out by Xplosive to get that kill onto Raver. Now he's going to pressure up a couple of shots onto Identivez. Flash out. Another body shot. Misses the second, though. That's a huge mistake. Has to reload, but the Lancer Fire comes in clutch. Helps him secure the down and the out. That'll be 2 kills. I know one of them's already back off of respawn by the time they get that second one, but that has allowed for the retake of UYU to get that mid-neutral hill, and now they're going to be able to pressure Pittsburgh Knights into making a possible mistake. They're going to get all 4 members off of respawn, and this is the telltale moment for me. Like I said all day, Pittsburgh Knights have been lost in the sauce by a lot of teams, and they've been able to over-rotate in certain areas. They got to know that 2 members are coming down bottom side, 2 flashes out, no stuns onto Powerz just yet. Powerz still back in that corner with the Voltok out, 2 shots on. He has 1 more to connect, and he will be able to get that down. He's going to get the first down, though, and that is picture perfect played by him. Powerz helping solidify at least one of those kills. SuMuNs will clean up the other.
Very well played indeed. Now UYU knows their advantage is very real, and they're going to go in, try and capitalize, and get the domination for those 2 PK members. Utilities out, and they're going to get, no, they can't even get the touch. The first chunk comes in, and Xplosive hits a nice shot on Dezo. 2 minutes flat, and UYU finally puts a point on the board.
And that's how UYU can actually win rounds and possibly the game against the Pittsburgh Knights. It comes down to having to force Pittsburgh to make the secondary push. They're going to have to force Pittsburgh to make those plays into the teeth of the defense of UYU. Right there, Xplosive was able to catch Raver, I believe, slipping as he slid into the cover, gets that 1-hit Aquita on him from up top in the juice. Then they pressure Identivez, gets the down with the Lancer. That 2 kills opened everything up in the world for them. Coming into this last round of the first half, trying to tie it up 2-2. There is a great deal of importance because I know how UYU kind of sees themselves as never being out of it, but being down 3-1 to the Pittsburgh Knights is one hell of a mountain to climb right now with the way they are playing.
100%, man. 100%. Super curious to see how this works out, though. Now with Talons on both ends, you also have the Hammer Burst down low, and it looks like PK once again is going to send those 2 players over towards Benson. They've been doing this very consistently, kind of prioritizing that overextension. And player 3 is going to call this out. That's Powerz, but he's by himself. So if PK wants to push this too strong, they can make it happen. But player 7 is now going to decide to go through mid. Knows he's kind of uncontested at this point. An opportunity to challenge that player Juice is there. Meanwhile, though, for TJ, he's going to try and find at least one into the spot of PK. And he's going to manage to capitalize onto one. Second, though, is going to be there. Brings him down full red. He goes for the challenge. Not going to make it happen. That's 2 down for UYU. 2 down for PK. Make that 3 as SuMuNs blindsides Dezo. Takes him out. But still the neutral in nobody's hands, so UYU is going to take this opportunity to get the double home hill setup.
And Identivez has the Hammer Burst, and SuMuNs is going to have to get out of that position because he's going to be able to get crossed out from both sides. Nobody from UYU into the area quick enough. That's, again, what I was speaking to earlier, just how fast Pittsburgh Knights are to their next rotational fight, getting the help to their teammates. You're going to see Powerz is still trying to hold off 2 members of the Pittsburgh Knights by himself. Xplosive is going to die inside the Juice, though, which is going to scramble Powerz back to his home to try to prevent the triple cap domination. But the kills are staggered. The deaths are there. And UYU, they're going to have to come back off of respawn and play this picture perfect.
Perfect indeed. How many picture perfect retakes can you have? Well, we'll definitely find out as UYU is going to give it a good effort. They're going to lose out on so much time if they don't capitalize on any hills here. The first one's going to be that 1v1 between Dezo as well as player number 3. Meanwhile, though, the rest of the cavalry is going to be coming through for UYU for the overextension. You have a couple of PK members that are going to be there, but the dancing around is going to result in decap, and they're going to go ahead and go in for the full cap. They know they're down in points, but the opportunity to come back is here, and they force Dezo all the way back in spawn. They're doing a great job here, putting in a great effort to retake control, and actually they already have it. And they're going to make PK's chances that much more difficult. Explosive's going to get angled out. Now, what does PK do from here? Do they go in and challenge through mid? It looks like that's going to be the case.
They're going for the backside. Monkyz is all the way in the home hill of UYU. TJ's basically stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to make a decision here. 2 shots on the Monkyz. Not a lot of damage out, though. And still, TJ getting shot from the home hill of Pittsburgh Knights. Once again, in a 4v4 situation, let me rephrase that. In a 5v5, there's somebody else to rotate to help Xplosive. Xplosive is inside of the Juice trying to Lancer down to the members of the Pittsburgh Knights trying to shoot his teammates out of the arcade area. In 4v4, the Pittsburgh Knights said, screw it, let's take him in the 2v1. He's stuck in a small building. There's not many places he can run, and there's no places he can really hide because the other 3 teammates are all on the home hill right now. They take the 2v1, they kill Xplosive, and now Monkyz has a free over-rotation through info all the way over to Hotel and be on the flank.
Things are getting a bit wild now with the retros as well as the Hammer Burst down low. And again, with PK having that lead, it only gives them that much more confidence and an ability to win this over UYU. Still is very much so in this. Now, UYU is going to send 2 players down low. We have those players in the neutral positions to go ahead and Lancer out. PK, though, is going to strike first. And strike first they will, man. They're going to be on the neutral, and they're going to get that full cap. And pretty much uncontested by UYU, despite a couple of maybe shots from the Lancer. But even so, though, Identivez is going to be angled out, or at least 1v2'd, and looks like the spacing comes in, and TJ will pick it up. So good on UYU to get that retake.
They got a couple of kills right now. Dezonide last alive inside the info. He's going to rotate out. He's actually going to go for an overextension here. It looks like full red, he'll go down. Nobody really in the area to pick him up. Smoke's out. A couple of stuns will come through. Raver's going to have at least a touch to reset the 5-second counter. They're going to need multiple members inside that hill to try to come away with that cap before they can come back off a respawn, or they're going to have to get these kills, and they successfully get the kills. UYU finally answers back. It is now 3-2. We saw him drop 2 rounds, pick one up finally. Very much back and forth, but again, it's just basically who's winning the initials is coming away with the rounds between these 2 teams. That's how fine of a line it is.
Yeah, those initials are huge, right? Because that gives you an opportunity, especially on District, to kind of close the gap, close in, or at least, start to tighten that vice grip, if you will, especially if you can win on Cinema 2. You can send those 2 players who usually win on the neutral all the way through and then pressure in on the home hill of the enemy team, and we're seeing the effects of that. So Ensigns are there, and Bandstand's finally going to see some attention. And again, we said it and we agreed on it. PK was going to be the first one to place those power weapons, whether it's a drop shot or an M-bar. They want to go head-to-head. They're confident in their slaying power, and they're confident they can outslay UYU. So M-bar's placed. That's going to command some attention, and UYU has to go head-to-head with them.
And this is one of those things where they're going to pull them into that team fight that they had earlier where they were so successful. Pittsburgh Knights, I knew that they'd be the ones more likely to put down the power weapons. I thought it would come if they came down in rounds, but instead they're happy with the way that their rifles are set up right now. They know that they can go for this M-bar in at least this round, try to get it to a 4-2 and force UYU to make bad decisions. The chunk comes out. Look at the extra rotation in though. UYU finally getting the second man into the area. Powerz now inside the bandstand. It is a 2v2 on the map. Both teams dropping two members off of respawn. Now Xplosive is going to try to protect Powerz in this fight. They get the down on one. They're going to get that M-bar off. Here comes the rotation in. Dezonide, though, is hit. He still gets the reaction shot off and gets the kill.
No way. No way he gets that despite being one shot. Good stuff on him, and that alleviates some pressure, right? That gets rid, at least of the M-bar right now. Xplosive's going to push up. He gets brought down full red. PK can't get the finish on him just yet. Either way, though, TJ is forcing the issue really hard as Raver now does get the down, but now you got to run the corner. It's going to be Monkyz. And Monkyz now tries to go big in that situation. Raver gets finished off Identivez as well. And now Dezo, he's going to be in a 1v2, equally 6, and it's going to be UYU taking him out. So a good recovery from UYU. I say recovery, granted, they only lost one player, and that was the M-bar, but even so, they played that very well, and that results in a neutral.
And the sneak play from Powerz gets at least one kill there. They're threatening the triple cap domination. Powerz turns around for a moment. I don't know if Dezonide is going to be able to make it. He gets shot on by SuMuNs and taken down. Domination answered back by UYU. Now we're down to that best of 3 situation. And Taylor, I don't know if we'd have it any other way to see possibly another round 9 on the night.
No, 100% not. I mean, especially here, do you expect a blowout? No. Do you expect a 5-3? No, I expect a round 9, right? I mean, these are two giants playing on a tuning that I would say they are probably more comfortable on, given the fact that, these competitors have played on tunings, or at least at the speeds that they're playing on, for quite some time. So this is very neck and neck, and I'm happy to see it be so close, given the fact that PK started off so strong, right? They had that 3-1 lead, so it's encouraging to see UYU chain together a couple of rounds and bring it up and tie it, especially after that M-bar was placed, which I thought was going to benefit PK greatly, but UYU, after a very long initial, ended up taking it. So it gives me promise UYU can keep this competitive, and I wouldn't expect anything less.
3 members of UYU look like they're rotating down. One of them is going to stay for the shock. Identivez is going to try to stun out here, and I like that play. They're going to try to get the stun out. They're going to back up. A couple of back A's come through. Identivez will get it down. Shock comes through, though. Will have a lot of damage and stop the possible kills. UYU has picked up the only kill on the map, and Powerz has a second down now. That's 3 possible dead for Pittsburgh Knights. Identivez, 4th down, 4th out. This is going to be a possible quick round, but Dezonide, already off of respawn, is going to be back in the fight very shortly. SuMuNs is going to Lancer out, stun in. Misroll comes through, and Powerz shuts him down. UYU, they take the lead, 4-3.
Wow, 42 seconds, impressive. That's one of our quickest rounds we've had as of yet, and for UYU, they will take that to the bank all day, every day. PK now at risk of losing map number 1. This is their map pick after all, right? This is their map pick, although I do think that they will do very well on Forge. If PK can turn this around, I think they can win the series 2-0, but I think we're almost guaranteed a game number 3 if UYU is successful in taking this round. Disables finally come out. And to be honest, we haven't seen many disables calling throughout the entire night.
We haven't, but they've mainly come basically on clinching rounds. They're basically used to take away that weapon like we have seen it all season 1 long when the disables do come out. Here we go, though, back to basics. Both teams are going to be Lancer, Nasher, Snub in this initial fight. Raver trying to get shots on. TJ going for the quick pick here. Might be able to get away, but gets stuck on the corner. I don't know if he was able to get off of it in time. He ends up getting chunked. Now Powerz is going to get 2v1. Xplosive has to back out, but he's going to get taken down. 4 dead for UYU. Pittsburgh Knights looking to retail the tell of the last round, get back into these fights, and get this triple cap domination. They get the incendiary grenade in the hand of Pittsburgh Knights. They cut off one of these stairwells. TJ is going to bounce around. He trades one chunk. He gets away with a kill, resetting the timer. Powerz slides in, but it's not enough. They're not getting enough kills to sustain this round for much longer. Triple cap domination comes through. 4-4, as we called it. Round 9, here we come.
48 seconds. What an answer. And how many times tonight have we seen PK come back, right? We've seen it so many times, and they always take the final, or at least tonight, they have taken the final round every time they put themselves in this position. So the opportunity is 100% there. They've got to lock it in. For UYU, though, they've had at least not that last round, but the 3 rounds prior. Very impressive. They strung them together. They won the in-bar. They won the fight on bandstand. So the fact of the matter is, PK, they may have won that last round, but UYU has shown more promise in this consistent fight that we have seen over the past 4 rounds. So I do believe this next one is going to be tough. Those frags in mid, though, that's going to change up things a little bit, because you know that mid fight is going to take place regardless of the pressure in bandstand.
It is going to be a much bigger fight here over those frag grenades in the middle, because if you lose those, that extra frag in the fight could change the tide very quickly. And it looks like UYU's actually sending a man up top. Powerz is going to shoot his flash in. Shocks out from both teams. Powerz sees that he got a chance to go for a little flank. There's one down on the Raver. Powerz turns around and makes sure he burns at least one. Couple of bounces come through. Not able to get that back A to go. The only down on the side of UYU has now been revived. It's up to Monkyz. Monkyz is going to have to rotate out. He has to go for safety. I believe Powerz can get on the E hill if he so chooses. They're threatening the home hill already in the Pittsburgh Knights. We're down to the final 3 seconds. Raver will be first to the fight, but that, ladies and gentlemen, will have the domination denied momentarily. Raver still alive. Re-decaps the hill, and the fights will ensue for the next set of kills, but they slays come through, and UYU will bring us to a map 2 on the backs of a 5-4 round count victory.
And look, good on them, man. I mean, our last 3 rounds, 7, 8, 9, so quick, right? 49 seconds, 48 seconds, 54 seconds. Both teams had each other's number. The M-bar had a huge, part in that, obviously. The playing for the M-bar, the 2 teams meeting. And now you can really see the effectiveness, right? The danger of a 4v4, because if you lose that initial, not power weapon aside, if you lose the initial and 3 go down, and let alone 4 with obviously the kill elimination win being disabled, pretty much you have to then immediately come off respawn and just try and get a touch, because you know the enemy team, especially if they're aggressive like UYU or PK, they're going to be all over your home hill. So those right there, I mean, that match, those last 3 rounds is just a prime example as to how devastating a power weapon placement can be, and how devastating it can be to be in a 4v4 and lose 3 or even all 4 of your teammates.
And I got to give big props to UYU. They pulled a trick out of the bag of hats there in that last round. The extra member, it was Xplosive. He rotated through the top middle of the map toward the top of the fountain. He was able to get an angle on the member of the Pittsburgh Knights that took that middle garden right there by the frag grenade spawn. Ends up taking that angle, gets the Lancer onto him, they get the down. That first kill allows them to Lancer down to the bottom, which was the domino effect. It's one of those little adjustments, one of those micro adjustments that a team can and sometimes make, and it gives them the benefit and gives them the edge in those kind of round 9 situations. And that just goes back to how many times UYU has been in those situations on the back of Xplosive having to make that kind of play call.
Man, you know, I gotta say, I am surprised by the results. I favored PK with their performance tonight, but I mean, again, UYU just played so very well. I mean, seriously, that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. They played really well. They strung together 3 rounds, and honestly, they strung together those 3 rounds in a way that I wasn't expecting. Once that M-bar was placed, I was highly expecting PK to kind of take away with that. I thought they were going to be hugely benefited by going head-to-head with UYU and forcing those members to go into their Nasher. But at the end of the day, man, Forge is going to be the next map. And I got to say, man, for the boys of PK, they've got to win this. I expect them to win this, but I expect them to win the last one. So I think we're going to game 3. I really do.
This is going to be a telltale sign once again. Look, UYU was able to make those mid-game adjustments. They were able to come away with just 1 more initial than the Pittsburgh Knights were on map number 1. This is going to be the same song and dance on map 2. If the Pittsburgh Knights can come away with those initials, especially with Identivez probably still playing that up top fight, I'll be curious to see who the UYU squad puts up there? Is it going to be TJ versus Identivez? Do they maybe take Powerz out and put Powerz in there? But I love him playing the bottom incinerator fight. I don't think they're going to go that crazy with it. That is going to be the tail of the tape. Can Powerz overpower his opponent at the incinerator? Can Identivez maybe hold the tide back by winning the control button fight quick enough for him to be able to Lancer down or Lancer out toward that incinerator? Both of those 1Vs are going to be very crucial. We've seen both of those players play that position pretty much to perfection all night long. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those, because I'm pretty sure they're going to end up being kind of on an island by themselves until somebody wins a fight somewhere else.
Yeah, or a power weapon is placed down, forcing the teams to kind of go at it. I got to ask you, though, do you think it's telling that Icy was doing so well versus Identivez? Do you think maybe that benefits UYU even more with Identivez losing that fight versus Icy?
Different play styles. I think if you see TJ go up there, TJ and Icy, two really different players. TJ, even though he has the defensive play style, he's still very much a new school player. He's still very much a flash dash, likes a couple of extra bounces to get that kill. Icy understands his damage and distancing. Icy is a very old school player. He cut his teeth in a very old school style gears. He comes here, he's still got all those same remembrances, all that same muscle memory, knowing how to take those 1Vs, knowing how to push that kind of limitations with the walls around him. So I think it benefits Icy to be up there over somebody like TJ. This is going to be one of those fights where TJ and Identivez are going to look almost not mirror images of each other, but it's two of the same style fighters stepping into the ring now.
I go back to Rise versus PK, and I think to myself, man, why did PK do so well? Well, let's not forget that on Forge, Rise dominated pretty much that first half, right? I mean, they were looking so strong. The second half, much different story. PK was able to win off the back of just overall outslaying the roster of Rise. I mean, there was multiple times in multiple rounds where 2 times we would see Rise get, 3 down, leaving Fran by himself, forced to defend any lane he was in. He couldn't go anywhere, right? And then eventually he would be finished off. Do you think PK has that same success with defensive breaking or breaking the defensive setup of UYU with the slaying power we know that does exist, right, on the roster of UYU versus Rise?
It's going to be very difficult. Once again, I think one of the big differences that we're going to be able to see very clearly and very succinctly is while Icy was able to handle his 1v up top against Identivez, down low, Avexis and Inzem and Fran were very much so struggling with the trio or the three-headed monster of Raver, Dezonide, and Monkyz, especially when Monkyz got that hammer burst. That's going to be a different tale now, because instead of having to worry about that control tower so much, yeah, you might have Identivez up there in no man's land with a Lancer every now and again. The difference being is I think Powerz is going to pressure up. He's going to be able to take that 1v much quicker and much better at the incinerator. And now you're going to see Pittsburgh Knights have to play more of an incinerator style game. They're going to have to bring people in that direction to help them. This is one of those moments where Powerz to me very much resembles kind of like a world-class NFL wide receiver. They're going to have to bring somebody over the top, almost like a safety coming to help a corner, to try to shut him down, because he's going to apply that pressure early on incinerator. He's going to possibly take that 1v way before Pittsburgh Knights are comfortable him taking it. And then you see the rotation, you see the break in the lane coverage, and now UYU has an opening. It's all in how fast they're able to either win that top control fight or get a kill at that mid-neutral. Again, their rotations have been much quicker all night long than all their opponents. It's just a matter of time to see them start to step it back up.
The opportunity for PK to go for the overextension, they're not shy about that either, right? I mean, they are not shy about just sending their members, go for the overextension, and then have UYU or whatever team they're playing against, before it was Rise, kind of react to them, right? It's going to be tough. It really is. We talked about the maps, obviously, during the pick and bans, and we were kind of like scratching our heads, like, are you picking Forge? Just that's not a map that they have been doing very well on. But I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I think PK, they're going to have the advantage here. But the reality is, though, UYU, they could, in fact, win this. And if they do, what an impressive victory that would be to 2-0 PK. And I've got to bring up my stats, actually, from last week, but even though it's a different week, totally different play style. But for UYU to get another victory, man, that would be really good on them, because they've been doing very, very well as of recently, without question. As we load into the map, I will get that stat line going for you. But I'm not going to lie, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to get it started. UYU currently looking so good. But will they be able to win this map? I don't know. We'll find out.
We're going to find out here very shortly, depending upon how they decide to play this map. Again, I can't tell you enough how much it means to kind of see these teams take these early initials. All right, so here we go. Who's going up top for both teams? It's going to be Identivez versus Powerz. So Powerz does flip. So ladies and gentlemen, that's a big difference for me. The fact that they've taken Powerz out of the down low 1v at the incinerator and put him heads up against Powerz tells me that they want Powerz to take that fight early and take it off. And Identivez is going to win one. SuMuNs gets a win of his own, and he gets some help over the top. A couple kills come through, and they're going to get the 2-1 hill split right now in favor of the Pittsburgh Knights.
All right, good on them. So PK now able to set up and, more importantly, go for the domination. That's what they're going to do. And now UYU is forced to go at 2 different hills and 4 incinerator. Well, it's going to be won by player number 2. And in fact, it's not going any much better on A either, as Xplosive continues to push up. SuMuNs is going to be there, but PK will take it. And that is going to be a very dominant first round. UYU had a couple of stragglers, but honestly, they were just kind of caught out, if you will, because the other ones ended up going down. 1 minute and 1 second, PK takes the lead.
And again, look at Monkyz, 4 kills already. This is pretty much Monkyz' map, isn't it? Like, he was impressive all 2 series before this on Forge, especially when he gets that hammer burst. You're going to see now probably both teams placing out the the Boltok, excuse me, working up toward those rifles, talking it over though a lot. Like, what's the difference in our gameplay? How do we switch up? How do we account for it? Powerz was the only player to really win his fight early and force the members of the Pittsburgh Knights to be aware of his presence. We're gonna see the Boltok. They just gotta talk it over. Just gotta talk it over.
Unless they just throw something random out there. Okay, Boltok. It's okay. Take your time, man. Formulate that strategy. What is going to be the play? We'll find out. Dominating first round again from PK. You know, we're not going to take too much from that, but we'll see if they can replicate that. The possibility is absolutely there, though. We do have to at least, you know, see Monkyz with that Boltok, and he's going to have an opportunity to make some heads roll. Xplosive might become a victim here. He does connect at least 1 shot, but quickly, though, we are going to see someone's pushing up, and he is going to get it down onto 1. So Monkyz needs to go big here, and he does. And the second one is going to be pushing up. Quickly tries to back away, hit with a full apartment complex, and finally he will drop.
Powerz is going to be in this fight now, rotating over the backside of the box. Monkyz will finish him off again. That's back-to-back initials that the Pittsburgh Knights have absolutely dominated upon right now. And all of UYU is going to have to come off of respawn, try to ensure that no triple cap domination is being threatened. Once they get that intel, they're going to have to basically rotate around the map slowly to try to figure out where they can go. TJ's going to get shot on by Raver momentarily. They're going to know where he is. Great trigger control right there to get the extra damage, but the person they have to worry about, the linchpin of this defense, is Monkyz. He might get chased out here by Powerz, but Monkyz sitting there with the Boltok will be able to shoot onto any members of UYU that try to go for this retake here.
UYU is going to give it an attempt. They're pushing up. They get the down on player 3, so it's going to give them the opportunity to maybe take advantage of this push. And it seems that they're going to be a little bit discombobulated as player 2 and 8 do push in, but UYU silenced them, cleaned them up very easily. PK, though, goes for the overextension himself. Big battle taking place. Powerz now whipping a couple of shots, and so is Raver. Powerz, though, will manage to take down, or Xplosive will take down Raver with the Lancer fire. The Dawn coming through as UYU going in for the triple cap, and it's going to be there as PK cannot get a touch and get a member there, so all tied up 1-1.
That was a great answer by UYU. Again, we've seen a lot of talk right now about how there's no retake ability, everybody's too slow, and Pittsburgh Knights have a pretty dominant position around the map. They're able to strangle out UYU if they choose, and then UYU just comes straight at them. A couple of smokes, a couple of flashes. They get the extra push. The coordination comes through, and they tie this thing up going into round number 3. Sitting on the Boltoks now, it'll be upgraded to retros or hammers, and we're going to see retros on the side of UYU. I expect to see the hammer burst back in the hands of Monkyz, though. I mean, he's just been too good with it all night.
Oh, he's so good with it. Well, I mean, he was just connecting. There it is. Hammer burst comes out, and you already know Monkyz is going to pick it up. So retro versus hammer burst. And yeah, Monkyz's been a big factor for putting in that chip damage. More importantly, just getting those kills with it, keeping the heads down. And earlier it was Rise, but now it's going to be UYU. But see how this breakout does occur. Monkyz's going to be on your screen, who actually passes up on the hammer burst off the start.
Monkyz is going to push into the cogwheels, not going to be able to get any shots on anybody like definitively, except a couple of snub shots here. Lancers out, they're trying to rotate into the fight to try to force the kills. SuMuNs will go down, Xplosive will have to back up now. 4v3 situation, Powerz will win his, so that'll even things up at a 3v3. Now Powerz has to rotate in to try to help any of his teammates. You're going to see the extra down come out. TJ will try to get that kill, won't be able to connect. Now Dezonide in the 1v against Powerz will finally win. A little shimmy shake, a little strafe out from Dezo, will get the kill. And meanwhile, the deaths are staggered, but I'm pretty sure things are still evened up, except now with TJ going down. That's going to open it up wide for Pittsburgh Knights to try to force the triple cap domination if they choose.
Now Identivez also going to be on that flank as well. Xplosive's going to be feeling the pressure from that. Still trying to fire some shots out. He will drop. Now you got that 1v1, 8 and 4. If Powerz will win it and gives them an opportunity to backtrack and with some defense. Player 9 is also going to be able to go in and challenge on to player number 3. It's Identivez once again who easily cleans up TJ, and that kind of leaves Powerz by himself, but PK isn't going to pressure forward. The job is done. They're going to go ahead and recalibrate, defense up, and then wait for UYU to potentially make a mistake.
Xplosive, he's going to stack up here. I like what I saw where Identivez has gone to that mid cover. He's going to be able to look over those cogwheels, shoot across, try to call out any member of UYU. UYU is going to go back to the well. They're setting up for basically the same push they made last time. They're going to have to convert the same amount of kills, though. See all 4 members here at the incinerator side. Flash in hand of Xplosive. He's trying to call out where multiple members of PK are. They know that Raver's on the other side of that forklift. There's the Flash trying to push in. Won't be able to get anything yet. Won't be able to even get the down. They're going to press up on the Monkyz, who hasn't gone down and is actually surviving all the way into his own spawn. There's the down and the out. Xplosive, though, has to worry. He's left, I believe, TJ on the wrong side of the map all by himself, so they could pressure up on him, but the extra flank from Xplosive is out now. He gets one down. He gets a kill. What a turn and burn.
Amazing stuff. But is it enough? You see, they do drop about so points, but with that DP cap, that's going to help. And now the triple cap is absolutely, especially if they can take down Monkyz here. You know, another PK member is going to be pushing up. Monkyz gets silenced. Player 2 is not going to be there. Player 4 now goes in. Not going to happen. And UYU will, in fact, lose that round as PK will.
I need that SpongeBob meme right now. I've seen it so much tonight that this tuning and this movement doesn't allow for retakes, that I need that SpongeBob meme where he's like bending forward and it's like 1 letter's big, 1 letter's low, and it's like there's no room for retakes, because that's back to back for UYU, taking a 2-1 round count lead. And they're able to do it on the backs of some very coordinated pushes. It's about the skill level. It's about knowing where your teammates are, knowing who to single out and who to pressure up on. And they've done it picture perfect. The torque bow comes out. Pittsburgh Knights now know that that 1v is much more important up top, so Powerz might actually have to be in a 2v1 and might have to just try to delay the control up there. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh Knights are going to build up their second half home hill. You're going to see probably the Boltok down there. Might lead to a retro, it's going to have to lead to a retro because the Hammerburst's already on the map. So this will be a very interesting next initial to see how many people go up for that torque bow.
Okay, well, UYU on track to 2-0 PK like they did last weekend, or I should say last E-Days. What a special thing it would be if UYU was able to do it back-to-back weeks, secure their 4th E-Days victory, but also do it on a different game mode. For Identivez, though, he'll at least get the trade, take down Powerz, but SuMuNs won't get the prize. So it's going to manage to, nice shot onto Raver, wastes no time at all taking him out, and also saves the button press for later. Connects down lower, at least gets a hit marker. Now Dezo will go ahead and push in on him. SuMuNs looks to go ahead and hold his own. Either way, PK, they do strike. They have at least a minor lead in points. So it's not like UYU has dominated this initial, and they still have to do.
Now SuMuNs being taken down. TJ's going to get the down on Monkyz, and Xplosive is going to kill him up, but they're not going to be able to get that down onto Identivez. You're going to see Xplosive have to rotate back, trying to get the revive, bouncing around, trying to stay alive as much as he can. And Identivez, he's too good, too slick right there in between those pillars, able to get those 2 kills, able to get control over the B hill. Meanwhile, up top, Powerz is going to try to rotate around and maybe flank, but I think Monkyz knows he's in the area, knows he might be threatening.
So again, PK still in control despite an impressive top fight from UYU. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot more that takes place other than just winning that torque bow. For UYU, the overextension seems to be the play they want to make. They're going in. I'm curious how PK reacts to this, as they do have Identivez who's going to be angled out. Lancer Fire is going to be very real, and you also have Powerz who's going to be there. So Identivez is pretty much dead to rights. Dezo, though, he's got, oh, beautiful kill from SuMuNs. Nobody there to pick him up. But again, UYU still clawing back, trying to get anything to go here. But PK is winning those big fights. That's like keeping them at bay. And that's the thing that's impressive to me. Is UYU has these impressive team pushes, but at the end of the day, PK always finds a way to regain control, at least in this round.
And well, that's the extra man. They kept getting the extra man into the fight, able to Lancer out, able to rotate around, which is why they've continued to maintain control over this round number 4. Monkyz trying to get shots on. They're going to get the down on SuMuNs once again. I don't know if anybody's in the area to pick him up. Powerz is trying to rotate out of there as quick as he can. But with a 4v3 advantage, moving well over the 200-point threshold, it's pretty much going to have to be all or nothing here. They're going to probably have to go for a domination. They're going to have to go for a domination, maybe even a triple cap domination, but not going to be able to find it with all those kills.
No, not at all. And yeah, the map's too big. You said numbers from UYU remains. Torpo for good measure by Monkyz. There it is. PK ties it up. So almost identical scoreline. Actually, it is identical scoreline from the match PK played just a little bit earlier. Now, in the second half is where they started to really shine and start to take control of the overall map. Will it be the same case here?
I want to say that I don't know what they do, because pretty much this is the setup they need. They all have utilities. They got the Boltok. They're going to have a Retro and a Hammer Burst. Like, Pittsburgh Knights have dominated this map once they've gotten those secondary rifles on the map. They have dominated Forge every single time they've played it in the first 2 rounds. So I don't know what UYU does here to change the meta, try to change the fight.
I don't know what they do either, but they're going to have to figure it out. A real opportunity to close the series out 2-0, but I'm not going to lie, PK has looked very strong in their ability to hold on. That last round was impressive without question. UYU threw everything in the kitchen sink, but PK reacted accordingly and reacted very well. And even in this case, you notice UYU is going to commit a ton up top to get button control as well as the torque bow, but PK is already going to get the objective. Raver may die, but PK still has the neutral, so they have a lot to work with.
And they've got, but now there's the 2 kills, and the double Lancer Fire comes out. They're going to get the down. Dezonide's trying to sneak Powerz. He's going to get the shot punch, and he drops that torque bow. So Dezo will have the torque with all 5 bolts still in the chamber. Shoots one out. Won't be able to connect with anything there. UYU's going for the retake. They don't need to over-rotate up to try to get that torque bow out. They might need to go down here to help TJ. TJ, once again, on an island by himself. Nobody is in the area to help him, and they're going to be able to take a quick 2v1 onto him to try to force out the situation. He's going to go down, but nobody's going to be there to help get the retake or help me get the kill. Dezonide has rotated the torque bow down. You can see UYU, it's almost like they put too many eggs in the same basket, trying to go for that torque, trying to go for that extra kill up top. Another down from TJ will help try to put the pressure back onto Raver and Identivez. The torque bow still threatening in the area, though. Here comes Dezo. He's going to move up in the fight, and another shot around the corner by TJ will get a 3rd down. They're finally getting to clean up some of these kills, but this, I mean, this has been hairy for a while.
It definitely has been, and I mean, that's kind of been the overall narrative, right? These initials, and even on District, some of the initials were a super long time. And even so, with PK getting the neutral, you do have that member from PK who's ready to hop in. It's Dezonide, but he's going to be challenged by Xplosive. As soon as those flames disappear, actually, he's going to have some help, so he might not be able to just hop in as of yet. UYU maintains a little minor lead, but it's going to come down to these next engagements. You have one up top for control. It's going to be Identivez, who is actually going to be able to clean up SuMuNs. Button is still going to be refreshing. But no matter, PK, pressure is where the overextension is there for 7. So, I mean, UYU still giving it a good go, but I feel like player number 7 is kind of just throwing his life away at this point.
It's the pressure play. Xplosive is just trying to over-rotate, trying to bring people out of the fight. UYU was only up by about 20 or so points, and giving that kill up is going to wide open things. Like you said, it was pretty much a throwaway. If he gets any kills there, if he's allowed to pressure up, it really puts Pittsburgh Knights in a bad situation. But him dying there without trading anything out has given up the 2-1 hill cap lead in favor of the Pittsburgh Knights. They're also going to have the torque bow in hand of Monkyz. He's going to be able to rotate all the way back out to his home hill. They're going to be able to sit back and play defense. This is one of those situations where the extra bloodthirstiness is probably not your best friend. Now the retake has to be perfect once again. Monkyz torque bow out, won't be able to catch anybody with that first one.
The first one. Powerz, though, will connect with the instant onto Monkyz. PK, though, there's those kills coming through. And again, that slaying power is impressive. And Raver doesn't stop. That's going to be another UYU member down. Now, granted, though, player 6 has snuck through, and he's going to be on both hills. It's a little bit too late. Where's everybody from UYU? Are they going to be able to get on E? No, they will not. PK will take this round. So they're going to lead 3-2, but it was a long one, Colin.
Definitely a long one, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Pittsburgh Knights take the lead back from UYU. Tying it up in the last round of the first half. We go to those middle rounds now. This is again where UYU kind of took the lead going into the end of that first half. They went back-to-back rounds, 2 and 3. Incendiary grenades being placed out. UYU hovering over their second half home hill, probably going to build up that Boltok or something along those lines. I don't think we're going to see a talent. It's not nearly as effective. Oh my God. What is happening?
Hey, sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. It is what it is.
It's got to be something I don't know. I'm telling you, because I don't know where you take that talent on this map. Like, unless you're able to control that recoil better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't know where you take it.
I mean, you are talking about UYU here, so
it's possibility. It's about all I can say. It's about all I can say. Oh my God, that incendiary came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a Hail Mary for sure, and that's going to force Dezo back. And look at UYU. They want this. Dezo whips his first shot, therefore he will be silenced. PK, though, again, taking the objective, right? That's something that's been pretty consistent. They like to go into E as UYU prioritizes up top. PK is prioritizing the objective, so they'll take a minor point lead so far with Monkyz and Raver picking up those big kills. It's things start to get scary for UYU, and more importantly, they don't even get away with the torque. So Raver has the torque, right? So all that effort for what?
The extra rotation for absolutely nothing to get those extra kills. You pad your stats a little bit, but you don't come away with anything but, you know, a respawn button to hit in a few moments when you come back off. Dezonide's going to swap spots with Raver. They're going to push Raver over to the E hill. UYU is spread very thin right now. They've got SuMuNs playing all the way back. One bolt out. Here comes the second. He's going to catch the head of Xplosive, though. That's going to basically cripple this next retake in its tracks. They're not going to be able to go anywhere. A definitive cleave to the knees of UYU. And this round, it looks like we're going to have ourselves a 4-2 round count for the Pittsburgh Knights.
I think we are. PK is really starting to take off here. Everywhere I look, it's like UYU is making like good play. Well, I should say they're winning big fights. Again, an overextension for what? It didn't work out. Opportunity, though, I mean, look, unlimited respawn, so UYU has at least one more chance to get back into this, but they're going to have to win a series of big eliminations, and it starts now with TJ onto Identivez, and unfortunately you have Dezo, who's going to be on his backside lancering again, and yeah, that's going to be it. That's now 3 down, not enough time, and PK is going to take it and bring it up 4-2, and that's going to lessen the chance of UYU securing this 2-0 victory in the series. We're going to game 3, I guarantee it.
My man said guarantee, dog. You better hope they don't win 3 rounds in a row.
Hey, I'm okay with being wrong. You know, it is what it is. I shoot my shot.
Trust me, Rebel knows that you're okay being wrong. Like,
oh, so you've noticed. You've noticed, huh? Okay. Me and Rebel?
It's love-hate, isn't it? It's love-hate.
It really is a love-hate, man. It really is love-hate. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. It is what it is. We go back and forth. They'll never admit that they take. I admit that I take that. I'm the bigger man, right? Rebel is going to have to say, all right, I take the L. It's okay. We were wrong. We can't be as. I don't know. Honestly, if they do that, I would be shocked. There's no way an org actually says we take the L. But hey, I can hope. I can hope.
Well, we're going to hope to see this possibly go to a map number 3 if Pittsburgh Knights can solidify this round at number 7. UYU now on the back foot. They're going to have to answer back with 3 straight picture-perfect rounds. Unsure if they're going to be able to do it because this has been a pretty dirty initial. And look at the double Lancer out. Identivez getting the down early onto Powerz. They go for the quick revive. Now they're going to go for the double shot shotgun. Identivez might get revived in this. They push through and get the double down. There's 2 kills. Nobody for UYU being taken out just yet. It looks like number 7, that is Xplosive, trying to rotate in onto Monkyz. Won't be able to get any shots just yet. The only player for the UYU dying off the initial will be TJ. Meanwhile, they have the torque. Oh, they get it down, and Raver almost fell into the fire there. That was a little close.
And now Monkyz has to go big here, right? He's going to have to go big, and he doesn't. Dezo last up. Now UYU needs to take this opportunity to get over to F. Like, they just need to push this as hard as they can. Player 2 is going to be there, but he can't take all of them on. This is the pressure UYU needs to bring it 4-3. Oh, but no one got E! Ah!
But he did get E, and they're going to get that down. Raver's going to clean up that easy kill. And Dezonide is being the sneaky beaver that you like to call out. He's trying to push across and trying to apply pressure to Powerz. It's going to be a big-time 1v1 over the D hill. Double kill somehow? Powerz must have stuck Dezo, and Dezo must have, like, I don't know, ran straight at him and got the kill. Good trade out there. More downs, more outs. Raver will be inside the E, but it looks like he's going to go over and try to clean up that last kill. They weren't able to clean it up, though. Powerz is still crawling around. TJ was crawling around and then finally bleeds himself out. Still 2-1 hill advantage in favor of UYU. Pittsburgh Knights, though, not resting on their laurels. They are pushing in, going for those decaps. They're creating havoc right now for UYU.
They definitely are, and this is where UYU has to be very careful. But again, they continue to get those big eliminations. I got to say, for this round, maybe other rounds they struggled, but this round, they have been pulling up big. Now, for player number 9, though, he's going to be in a Identivez, and TJ will win that fight again. They continue to win these massive fights, and that has netted themselves a massive lead.
So, pushing up top now. They know that the secondary torque is going to be coming up here very shortly, so they're trying to get into the area. Be prepared for that next respawn. Dezonide bounces around, tries to go for the shot on the SuMuNs, won't be able to get it. He gets down. There's the kill. Still going to have top button control. Xplosive into the area with the hammer burst. A lot of shots on. Finally gets the down. Price on about 3 or 4 clicks. Monkyz waiting in the corner. Gonna go for the sneak kill, and he gets it. But we will not go to a round or a map 3 just yet. We will go to a round number 8. Can UYU tie it up and send us to back-to-back round 9s?
Well, the opportunity's there. Why would this series be any different? 21-11, 9 deaths for Monkyz. He's playing so very well. So very well. 21-11. You know, we see a lot of 20 bombs actually in this 4v4 format. It's not uncommon to see, you know, a couple players be, or honestly, at one time we've seen a team with 3 players above 20 kills, and that's just because obviously you limited respawns, right? Longer rounds. So you are seeing those slay heavy players with the opportunity to build up a nice, massive stat line. Disable's out for the Ensign, so there will be a disable for the last round, especially for the boys of UYU. So if they can win this round, they can put themselves in a very winnable position in round 9. But it starts here. That last round, they won it, but the previous 2 rounds before that, they were getting decimated. So let's see if they can repeat this success from round number 7.
Now we see 3 members of UYU up here in the area trying to secure that torque bow. They get the down. They're going to try to go for the kill. Dezonide won't be able to trade out. He's going to go down as well. Pittsburgh Knights don't have enough players to actually go for that Mr. Krabs play, that triple cap domination. Powerz will come away with that torque in hand. He's on his side of the map. Meanwhile, you see UYU has gone for home-to-home stretches. Right there in the middle, though, Raver gets the down and the cleanup with that incendiary grenade. Brilliant job. And they're going to lose SuMuNs to the respawns of Pittsburgh Knights. The torque bow out of Powerz has to come through clutch. He catches 1.
Nice.
That is brilliant by them. 2 kills coming back. Splash damage on a Dezonide, won't find anything yet. Trying to go for the down with a shotgun over the top. They're going to go for this cap on E. Try to apply the pressure to the Pittsburgh Knights.
Player 7 versus 1. Monkyz looking to take down Xplosive here for button control. This would be a big win for Xplosive. Both hit beautiful shots, but it's not enough. Dezo now comes into the mix, and he will clean him up. Now he's going to be met by SuMuNs. The pressure continues. SuMuNs, hammer burst, not going to be enough, and he will get dropped off. Now you have Identivez also in a 1v1 versus TJ. He's going to manage to win that, so it looks like PK is starting to get some big breaks.
That's exactly what they needed. They're going to go for the cap here at the E hill. They're not going to be able to stop him from getting it either. Powerz is now down. That's another kill coming through for the Pittsburgh Knights. Raver even pushes up and gets the kill. I don't believe anybody's in the area to stop him. SuMuNs tries to come into the control room. Raver, though, with another shot on. I know he had help over the top from Dezonide. Gets the down on SuMuNs. These are the staggered deaths that have led to UYU losing rounds time and time again. And these are the same kinds of retakes and stands and offensive pushes by Pittsburgh that will net them yet another map victory, and it will send us to a map number 3.
And the first time we're watching Training Grounds all night in this 4v4 style, so it's going to be an exciting one, and I truly cannot wait to get in it. But of course, we are going to go to a break, but I got to say, I'm loving what I'm seeing tonight, right? We are seeing some really, really great action in this 4v4. Training Grounds is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to just learn, right? Just learn from these two teams and what two better teams to be playing and showcasing 4v4 on Training Grounds. But like I said, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, Grand Finals will continue. Map number 3, Training Grounds between UYU and PK. All right, welcome back, everybody, to, of course, the 4v4 Escalation Beta Tournament or Emergence Season 3 week number 10. We've been featuring Operation 5 all night. The 4v4 action has been real, and we're now heading into our final map of the night here in Grand Finals. We're moving into Training Grounds, PK versus UYU. It's been a great one, and I cannot wait to see how Training Grounds unfolds. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Colin Crow Clark. This matchup has been great, man. Very close, and I think that's to be expected.
Definitely to be expected. They've been back and forth all night long. We got to see one round 9. We only went to 8 the next time because UYU couldn't tie it up there at 4-4. But that's been the tail of the tape. Look, UYU, when they're able to kind of keep the numbers in front of them, like I said before we started map number 1, and not get extra rotated on, not get flanked out, they've really been able to keep Pittsburgh Knights on their heels, and that's how they won map number 1 with a lot of great initials and a lot of great extra pressure after the fact. Whereas the Pittsburgh Knights, their tail of the tape, the reason they keep winning rounds is because they're able to out-rotate UYU and stagger their deaths out and not allow them to come at them full force.
And that's the big thing, staggering those deaths, right? PK, hugely impressive. I really, really like watching them in this 4v4 style when it comes to Forge. They play it very well, and they're able to capitalize in ways that you wouldn't think so, right? I mean, even though they were consistently losing button control, consistently losing torque bow, they were still winning objectively. And like you said, staggering ended up being the overall champion. But a lot to take away from UYU as well. They played great. I mean, they really did, right? I mean, they won a lot of key critical fights, but I felt they were just lacking in the overall retakes. And that's kind of what bit them in the butt in the end, and PK was able to take over that victory. But as we head into Training Grounds, though, it's going to be an interesting one to kind of call, right? First and foremost, we've not watched UYU or PK play in a 4v4 style format on this map at all, right? We've watched them time and time again on Training Grounds, regardless in a 5v5 with the full roster. Favor, man. I mean, come on, because this is the thing. It's really hard to call.
Well, I think one of the things we have to really be concerned with coming into this map is it's also, I think, the biggest map we're going to get to witness all night long. I think it is by far the farthest from respawn to mid-neutral hills of all the maps we've gotten to play tonight and all the maps we've gotten to see. So that initial kind of becomes even more important, and this is where I almost expect the initial to kind of slow down because those home hills are going to be capped. So what you'll most likely see is a couple of people maybe jockey for position toward the overlook, go for that Lancer angle down across, and then you're probably going to see like that 3v3 on the opposite side of the map. We might have a 1v1 at the overlook, might have a 2v2 at the overlook, depending upon who can win that initial fight and try to get that overlook cross down to the B hill. But this is the biggest map we'll have, so I don't expect the initials to be so fast and so furious. Maybe they'll break out. Once ice is broken, all hell's probably going to break loose. But until then, you're going to see a lot of that tug of war, that push and pull of who can get the better positioning.
Well, overall, like you said, both home hills are going to be captured, but the overextension is still a very real possibility. And also, as you rightly said, getting that Lancer fire on overlook on the neutral is still going to be just as powerful, whether it be 4v4 or 5v5. My question is, though, if a power weapon does get placed in the traditional location over at overlook, how much do you think is committed? Because traditionally in a 5v5, we'll see 4 players push in for that drop shot or for that power weapon, and you'll see maybe a 1v1 over on the neutral. Do you think we see kind of the same play style, but instead of 3v3 versus a 1v1 on the neutral?
I almost see it as maybe even seeing a 2v2 where you're going to see 2 people go to that back U, try to take that fight, depending upon what the power weapon is as well. But you'll probably see a 2v2 at the back U, and then you'll see a 1v1 at the overlook and a 1v1 at that mid-neutral hill, trying to get that overlook positioning to be able to Lancer down on the backside of that U. So it's all in how they decide to play it, but I really do think you'll kind of see a 2-1-1 if there's that power weapon. But early on, I expect to kind of see a 1-1-2 kind of early, where you'll see that mid-neutral fight, that B hill have 4 players in the area, probably one in each heaven, one down low.
It's going to be a fun one. A lot of lessons to be learned here. And for everybody out there, make sure you are taking notes. If you go to umggaming.com, you can sign up for our free tournaments on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday 4v4 action, as you are seeing here tonight. So a lot to learn, not only for us as commentators, but also for you guys out there who may be fans or competitors yourself looking to just get better in this brand new format. But overextension does take place, and UYU seems to be taking advantage of that.
They have the call out on Monkyz right now. Monkyz actually gets away with his life. TJ gonna have to back up here. This is gonna be very precarious. TJ's gonna be called out. He's all by himself. That's 3 dead. That's gonna open things wide up for UYU, or excuse me, for Pittsburgh Knights to be able to rotate wherever they want. SuMuNs is going to have to rotate back over to that mid-neutral hill and possibly take that 1v fight. He's going to go down and be taken out, and because of how far away even the home hills are from respawn, it's going to be a very tall task to try to stop the triple cap domination, but Powerz gets 2 shots on and gets at least 1 down and a kill traded out.
Powerz still, the pressure is real, but manages to come away with 1. So that's Raver out, teammates coming in, and PK has a decision to make. Do we continue to challenge, or do we backtrack? Well, for Dezo, he doesn't have a choice, and Identivez honestly doesn't have a choice either. He's going to go ahead and get Nasher in the back, and Powerz is going to go for that overextension lock in C. And just try and get UYU back into the game. Matter of fact, Xplosive is going to be on B as well, so they're looking to sneak around here.
Now Xplosive on the B hill. He's going to get shots on. He gets a good back A to get the down from Narnia and will be able to solidify both kills.
Wow.
Triple cap domination being ticked through. Dezonide goes down to the double shot shotgun. Meanwhile, Identivez, he last hope for the Pittsburgh Knights. He's cleaned up. He's taken out. Round 1 in favor of UYU.
I am actually shocked that UYU played that as well as they did. That fight on B was massive. That fight doesn't go well. Obviously, B isn't locked in. There was 2 members from PK there to overwhelm them. If they go in that 2v1, PK finishes off one. The other one is going to have to really think twice about pushing in. But because the first down came in, the other UYU member was able to come up and assist. That was a beautiful, well-placed fight from the boys of UYU, and they take a round that honestly PK was in control of.
PK was in control until the very last moments. It felt like Xplosive ends up hitting that 2 shots, getting the down with the back A from Narnia. Now we're going to see those bowl talks out. Curious to see if this changes anything up, really, if UYU continue to go for that overextension. Look at this, Pittsburgh Knights going for that B hill, basically all by themselves. They're going to send 1 player over the top, maybe to Lancer out. That's going to be SuMuNs in the area. But this is what we thought. There's that 3v3 down there at the U, trying to get position over that overlook and trying to push up for that home-to-home split, but not giving any headway this time. Pittsburgh Knights have gone for a defensive stand, and they have gotten it successfully. 2-1 hill advantage goes to them.
All right, PK. So again, as you said, 2-1 a hill advantage, but they had this before UYU was able to just implement something special. Xplosive is going to go ahead and push through mid quick on his heels, though. It's going to be Dezo, and Dezo should be able to get this kill, and he will, and gets to finish. SuMuNs will try to Lancer him out as much as he can, but actually Dezo really can't get out of there. You got someone else having on the overlook position, and you also have SuMuNs is going to be Lancer from the other end. That's just annoying, but he does get up. Now he's immediately going to be pressured, but he picks up Raver, who got a little bit antsy and skated right into his Nasher.
Beautiful job being patient and holding your shot, allowing him to try to push up and getting that easy 1-shot kill on him. Powerz has the shots over the top, but won't be able to get that down just yet. Triple cap domination being threatened. Powerz trying to put shots onto Dezonide, will get the down. Couple of cleanups come through. Identivez tries to get back into the hill, but will not be able to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, UYU are off to a commanding 2-0 lead, and it's on the backs of some pretty intense gameplay, especially in those mid-round retakes by UYU.
All right, so leading the way, leading the charge. Seems like they've got something just a little bit special. Old Talks now going to be at least traded out for the time being, and honestly, they haven't had too much of an impact. The Hammer Burst on training grounds is an interesting one. I like it. Obviously, it's a natural progression, but I don't know. Do you think it's going to hit like a ton of bricks here on training grounds with so many opportunities to take, you know, heaven positions?
Well, the Hammerburst is still a carbine rifle. I know it fires 5 shots with a single pull of the trigger, but it's still basically your accuracy rifle. You're going to be able to go to that overlook. You're going to be able to get a lot of damage on people. The headshots are what really causes it to be so overpowered and deadly at times. But right now, you're still going to probably see it be used to perfection. Right now, though, you're going to see a quick down and a quick couple of kills come through for UYU.
Like this wolf packing opportunity. Overextension is there, and that's something UYU has been really good on consistently, I would say. Good spacing from SuMuNs, but Raver, the constant pressure will eventually be the end of him. His Xplosive tries to stay on B, but he knows it's just not going to work out for him, and he's actually going to be pressured by 2 members from PK. Tries to get out with his life, does not. And PK should be able to regain controller. Actually, they could get away with even better, depending on how they play this. Player number 9 on the 3, he'll take him out. Look at this from Powerz around the corner, and PK will take him down. So PK's doing everything right. Now they are going for the domination.
They have to go for this triple cap. They cannot allow UYU to take a 3-0 lead. Here comes Xplosive back off of respawn. Not going to be able to make it, I think. He might get a touch, but no, he's going to go straight down. So no touch, 2-1. Great answer from the Pittsburgh Knights. Really pleasantly surprised with how good they were off the retake. Once again, can't believe I keep hearing people say that there's no retake capability. This is what happens when you get the best players in the world that actually play the game together and know how to do those coordinated retakes and pushes. Overlook being hovered over by the Pittsburgh Knights, but I believe they're just going to go for those incendiaries or shocks, trying to set up for that second half mid-neutral hill that we are oh so vauntedly looking after, especially with the way we talked about it earlier and the power weapons possibly going down there.
Well, who's saying you can't retake, but you can absolutely retake. I've seen it here. And you know, you can make the excuse, okay, well, it's PK and UYU. Of course they can retake, but if they can retake and they're the best in the world, shouldn't that be the example that you're wanting to follow?
You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
But hey, it just seems like too easy to me. But UYU 3 strong. They're going to be pushing into 3 members of PK. Now, this is going to be a big battle. So this is the one that I was thinking about, right? You've got those 3 members who kind of like clash, and then you have the 1v1 on neutral. Of course, it doesn't happen at all as soon as they start talking about it. It's going to be a 2v2 on B. Oh, into the blender. PK goes. SuMuNs in a bad position. Monkyz will get down, but Monkyz will get picked up. No, he may not, actually. Powerz might get the pickup here. Shock is going to be out, and what a turn of events as Powerz tries to get it. He will. But now it's a 2v2 once again. I did not expect that to happen.
That's the extra rotation that came out finally. UYU was able to get in the area. SuMuNs down too many times. He goes down. PK, though, has the correct angle. They're going for the triple cap domination. All UYU can do is basically stall this out, try to wait for somebody to be able to lancer into the area, but both people that have hopped to stop both got taken down and out. Triple cap domination being threatened once again by the Pittsburgh Knights.
There it is. No longer threatened. It goes through 2-2, all tied up, ladies and gentlemen, going in the second half. And now, this is that I'm waiting for at least. I want to just see how they fight for the neutral. How much do they commit? And you said 2v2, and honestly, I think that's going to be the play unless something is going to be placed in the neutral. Even so, it still may be a 2v2. We'll definitely find out. It might even be a 3v3, to be honest with you, as one kind of maybe watches down low. I don't know. This is all new territory.
They're gonna go secondaries right now because it'll end up being shocks and incendiaries. So this is, again, like you said, it's all new territory. It's gonna come down to who can come away with these early round victories, who can possibly get those initial down and damage on their side. I just know right now, from what we've been able to see, Pittsburgh Knights are continuing to just be that much faster than everybody else in their retakes. And that's the thing that's most impressive about them in a 4v4 situation. The pressure you are under the entire time Pittsburgh is on the map, because they are able to get back into the fight so quick, will help them out tremendously later in rounds. A couple of downs come through, but nobody's able to pick anybody up. And look at the 3 shotguns in the area. The Pittsburgh Knights getting the quick downs and now outs for them.
And SuMuNs now, tough position, 1v1, try and stay up as long as he can, of course, with there not being a risk of, you know, the full team wipe. resulting in a round loss. He's going to be okay, but the rest of his team gets back into it. PK still applying that pressure. 1v2 now. SuMuNs misroll. He's going to get peppered in the back. One more shot should take him down, but hits a beautiful one on Identivez and still gets it. The fact that SuMuNs is still alive here despite him being pressured for so long is just insane to me. But hey, these are the best in the world, and they're able to be elusive and get out of there. And believe it or not, UYU has been a break for it, and they're now pressuring in on F for the domination.
That's a beautiful job. SuMuNs, again, that's one of the things that we talked about, playing for your life, not giving it up and trying to do your best to just stay alive as long as you can to allow your help to get there. Pressuring up toward F. Good shot on. Identivez has to roll back. He's going to try to get down just as he gets to the bottom of the stairs, but a quick revive out from a teammate will help him stay alive in this. And SuMuNs is hitting every shot right now. And he is basically putting the pressure on the Pittsburgh Knights to survive this onslaught of UYU. Here comes the last member of the Pittsburgh Knights in the area. That's Raver. Bounces in, actually survives the first shot. Comes in from behind. Here comes Dezonide off respawn. Everybody from UYU has been wiped off the map, and Pittsburgh Knights are now back in the driver's seat, believe it or not.
Yeah, just like that. I mean, look, they lost it for a short second, but it's not devastating, okay? They still have an opportunity to come back because UYU, although they do have that lead, it's not too crazy of an amount for PK not to close that out. UYU, though, they feel like the need is to go for the overextension, but everywhere they go, they're getting peppered by Lancer shots. PK with great spacing, but with Wolfpacking potential, UYU does break through, and Monkyz will go down. So UYU has managed to break in, and Xplosive is going to pepper shots down low. But Powerz isn't going to stop there. He's going to go in and get those finishes. But trying to get a breakthrough is going to be Dezo, and he will. That's going to be two members out of the way. The trade comes in. Powerz will still get the break, but through that effort, people have told us they can't. Now Monkyz has an opportunity to keep them in the fight, but he's got to go big here.
Monkyz just got to stay alive. There's three members of Pittsburgh in the area. They finally get that kill and the wipe. TJ has to rotate back toward the E-Hill. He has to kind of sit down. They're crossing the 200-point threshold, but they've got plenty of time to move across the map, try to get a couple of breaks and kills to wipe off. There's the shock out trying to buy some time in the area. Now they've got Raver singled out back of the U, bouncing around. Good shot in by TJ. Will get the down. Now he has to turn around and worry about this 1v1. As you can see, that Dezonide had the kill there on the opposite side. Shots on. They got to get inside the hills quicker rather than later. Here comes a couple of decaps to try to apply the pressure. Just not in time.
Not in time at all, but still a great round. A lot of push and pull action there. And, PK had great opportunities to, stay in it, but at the end of the day, it was UYU. I like that Wolfpack. I really do. I thought PK with the lancering and the spacing, I thought for sure UYU was going to be heading into the blender, but it just comes to show you that even 3 strong facing Lancers just constantly melting you away. If you Wolfpack, you can't get enough damage in to get the drop on all of them. And because of that, UYU was able to take that hill. Even though they lost it momentarily, they still had enough pressure in order to regain it back. So I like that. I mean, it just comes to show you once again in 4v4, Wolfpacking, you're almost unstoppable.
You give up that extra lane, but you put yourselves in a position to basically become the Great Wall as you just approach your enemy, encroach your enemy, and they got to make a decision whether they're going to stay or go. And right now, UYU is trying to force Pittsburgh to go away into the night so they can win back-to-back weeks here. This is going to be a big fight at the U. A couple of shots come in. Identivez rolls out. Gonna get down in that corner, though, due to the shock. They just got to be able to clean these kills up. This is the kind of thing that was being the bane of their existence in those first couple of maps. The rounds that they did lose, UYU weren't able to convert kills in the initial, and it was forcing them into bad positions later on.
All right, here we go. Looking good for UYU so far. Again, going in for the domination and a big round for them, and they're going to get it. No way possible that Dezo was going to be able to get that touch. 42 seconds. Hey, PK is a really, really good training grounds team, but at least right now tonight, they are falling short.
They are, and UYU has now entered map and match point territory. They're up 4-2. They are within their rights to go ahead and shut this thing down. It looks like UYU is going to go ahead and get their secondary utility. There's the incendiaries to answer with their shocks, and kind of what we thought would happen. Pittsburgh Knights, they're going to try to make this into a big team fight. It looks like hovering over that back U, trying to make this about whether or not their shotgun ability can win them the day. There is the M-Bar, ladies and gentlemen, and the M-Bar's kind of been the bane of UYU's existence tonight. Identivez with it. We saw him get a great couple of shots on in map 1, I believe, and then we saw the big team fight in map 1 come back to bite UYU in the butt all the way until rounds 8 and 9.
Absolutely so, man. And that M-bar, again, you know, commands so much attention, but sometimes they live by the sword, die by the sword. In this moment, Raver picks up a nice kill on some Powerz, but instantly traded back. And I like seeing this. This is the clash that I wanted to witness because I was like, is it going to be devastating? Well, for PK, it was. They will lose 3 members. Now, granted, UYU can't do a ton with just 2, but they can still pressure the last remaining member, and that's Dezo. So already PK off the spawn because they lost 3. They're now still going to be a man down, and UYU is full force and already set up.
And they're giving that M-bar over to Powerz. He's going to be able to set up wherever he so pleases, but the 2-to-1 hill advantage is definitely huge on this map. Again, we talk about how big it is, how hard it is to rotate off of the respawns, and that's lend itself to a lot of those triple caps being threatened that we've seen in this map already. And Powerz, he's not going to waste any time trying to make sure that PK can't mount up to full force.
Okay, yeah, like you said, Powerz. Big opportunity to get those big picks, and he's got the perfect positioning to do it, though. Look at Monkyz. I was not expecting that mantle over. The M-bar is going to connect onto Monkyz, and Powerz now still 2 more shots to his name. Will be pressured, hits a nice body shot, and Asher's going to come out. He just needs to get 1 more touch, but he can't. Oh, but he finally gets it. He backs up, but he's still being challenged, and he doesn't know that player is going to be right on his backside, but either way, UYU is there, and no, they're just shy.
Beautiful job.
They still get it.
They still come through. They still get the win in the match. 5-2. UYU wins it, and I'm pretty sure SuMuNs becomes king of the castle for the next few days down there at the team house.
Yes, sir, he does. And we talked about it, man. He's going to have all the bragging rights, put the robe on, put the crown on, get the staff. GG's, man. SuMuNs. Hey, he didn't play with PK, but he was on the winning team at the end of the day, and that's all that matters, is it not? I got to say, good on UYU. This is the 2nd week in a row that they've been in grand finals, and the 2nd week in a row that they've managed to beat Pittsburgh Knights. That now puts them up to 4 total championships, dwarfing VQ and PK, who sit at 2 total championships themselves. I'm impressed.